So you guys remember the Nissan Frontier, the 2007, and mechanic called me and he said to get him a fuel pump. Well, I asked him what's going on. He said he thinks that the fuel pump is having a problem, and that's why the car sometimes starts, sometimes does not start. I just came here today and I crank it. First time it started. After that I shut it off 2-3 times. It didn't start. Now the battery is dead. I have to get the jump to put on it. But I was doing a visual inspection, and by the way, this car was owned by a police officer, a cop, retired. So it seemed to me that he had some toys was installed in the car, because I see some brackets here and some other stuff that are not factory, including, I noticed this switch, and including this device, and including this other device that has a lighting and some bunch of wires. So going back to the engine, I was trying to see what kind of system we're dealing with, where the fuel lines, if there's any trailer valve that we can tap into, see, get measurements for the fuel pressure before condemning the fuel pump, and checking the relays, fuses, going to all data, pull some diagrams, and doing the normal procedure, the right way to do it. So looking here, this is the fuel line and it's going down. This is the fuel rail right there, and this is the fuel injector. So I noticed there's that definitely not a factory wire, and this isolation is also aftermarket. So this wire is tapped into one of the wires of the injector, and it goes here. They put it under the intake manifold, coming here, is the right here, and going to the firewall inside the car. Now also here there's two other wires, a brown one and a gray one, and when you follow them, the gray one is to a switch here, like a hood switch or something, and the brown one changes to red and goes to this siren that has a negative from the body, and this should be the positive. So I don't know what's going on. I bought this truck a long time ago. I'm not sure if I still have contact with the owner, phone number or something, but I will definitely have to ask him about this. But right now what I'm thinking is this is some kind of kill switch to kill the positive lead that feed all the injectors, probably, I would assume. I'm not sure. I'm just making assumptions. I'm just creating a theory, and I'm gonna have to take this intake off, this air box off, and check to see, or I don't have to. All I have to go is to get a diagram and check which one of these, which way these injectors are being fired, and I think it's going to be negative triggered from the ECU, and the positive is constant. And see if when I crank or when the key on, see if I have injectors on. See if I have sorry, when cranking, not when the key on, when cranking, to check, see if I have positive for the injectors. Hopefully this is the case. If this is, all I have to do is just delete that, Let me go get the jump box and look at some diagrams. The car did have a security system in it. We deleted it. We took everything out. But I think it's still doing the same thing. Let me show you guys again. Here's a big mess. Actually, we pulled from the vehicle, and the wires in here are still not 100% pretty. I think there's a lot of stuff need to be taken out of here, and I think this one need to be connected to this one, because I see the end of that is gray and this one is gray, the same color. So I'm gonna connect both of these. Right now the car, no crank, no start. So let me see what I can do. I have another wire here. I don't know what is that. Two wires actually. They cut. I don't know what's the end of them. I don't know what is this for. Oh, I'm gonna have to take this off. Probably take this off to have better access. After I connected these two wires, I have crank, but I don't have a start. Let me attack the fuel system. Let me see if we have any problem with the fuel system, relay, fuse, anything. I just took this cover off. Have better access to this panel. The two small wires that were for this light, and that's some aftermarket stuff. I don't care about it. Now I see a lot of tap in here and a lot of modification, wire modification. So what I'm going to do, unfortunately I don't have my my stand with me, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take all of these off, bring everything back to factory, and tape everything, isolate it. Of course I you know, took the negative post off. I disconnected the battery right now, and after that I'm gonna check if there's any fuses blown and try to start the car. I'll be back. Okay, so I did my best to put everything back the way it was. I isolated these wires individually, and then I wrapped everything. Even these ones, they were really hard. I wish I had my shrink wrap with me. I have it at home. I forgot to bring it, but you know, I did my best with the tape. And I have a lot of stuff here. I didn't feel going to AutoZone to grab me like a bag. But anyway, that should work. Right now, let's put the battery back and see if that's gonna start. Oh, I didn't check the fuses. I'm pretty sure I've blown a couple of them. Now let me get back with the tester. Okay, so I checked the fuses by the engine. Everything is good. Let's quick check. Okay, let's watch. Where's the security light in this car? I don't know. Make sure the jump box is, no, it's not. It's not plugged. Okay, jump box in here. Okay. Give it a little gas. Okay, it's time to scan it. See what we have. Yes. Auto scan. Okay, so it's done scanning. We have no codes in the engine, no codes in the transmission. Your engine, I'm surprised that we don't have a code in the engine. I'm not able to start the car. But anyways, ABS airbag, meter, MA, and BCM body control module. Let me see what's in the body control module. BCM, read code. Current, low. What's that? Oh, that's for the sensors. Ignition circuit open, that's past. That's the wires that we cut on, but low pressure. These are the tire pressure monitors. We have a light over there. Okay. Meter. What's the meter? MA. Read codes. B2205. Current code. Vehicle speed circuit. B2205. Okay, B2205 right here. Okay. Let me see if I erase it. Recycle the key. Okay, so far there's no codes. Let's go to the engine because the engine is not starting. Let's go to special functions. I cannot start it to check this one. Condition evap, O2s, purge valve control, target idle, vent registration idle, airflow. Let's go back to active tests, fuel injection. Yeah, it's definitely a dream.
Hard-headed, aren't you?
Huh?
You are hard-headed.
So I just went to the junkyard and got me this piece. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off and use this, put a hose in here to hook up my gauge, and this other end goes to here because this piece that came with the kit didn't work. It was leaking from here. So this is the piece that I use, clamp, to this, clamp to this one, and then add, you know, to the gauge. Go ahead, Siam. Stop. Key off. Alright. Key on and crank.
He's on.
And crank. There's no leak here. We don't have any leak. We have a 50 PSI, 50, around 50. Okay, so based on all that, the fuel pressure at idle should be 51 PSI. I had a 51 PSI. I had between, key was off was 45, and then key on and crank jumping to 52, 51. So I don't have no problem with the fuel pump. I don't need a fuel pump. The mechanic said fuel pump. It's not a fuel pump. It's not a fuel pump. Now let me check the power and ground for the injectors. So as I expected, it's pretty much the same, you know, same diagram, same theory of the Toyota RAV4 that we did the other day. We have ignition switch. You know, a line comes from ignition switch when the key on or start. 15 amp fuse. I was able to locate that, and when I checked all the fuses, I think I checked that one and it had power on both ends, but we'll check it out again right now. And it splits to, you know, 4 injectors. This is the power side of it, and this is the signal side of it. So it gets its signal from the ECM by the ground, and this is the harness for the ECM. Now what I'm going to see, I'm going to check which one is this first injector right here. I can check 2 ways. We learned that the other day from the wires, or I just get a you know, the number 1 cylinder on this 4-cylinder, see which one it is, and check which one is this one. This is the very first to the front of the engine. I wanted to check to see which one is the positive and tap into that, see if we have battery voltage here. If we do, that means everything before that, everything before the injector is good, which is the fuse, the wires, the signal from the ignition switch. Based on the diagram, all the powers are going to be the white and gray, and white gray or white green, I'm not sure, but injector number 1 negative is going to be green or gray. Orange, I'm not sure, violet and purple, but the white and green or gray is the common one. Let me see. Get the light. Where's the light? That's white and green. Okay, white and green. White and green. We have green, so G is green. So white and green, this is the positive. Why they had this purple for the alarm system with the negative? I don't know. Hopefully we don't have a problem with the PCM. Anyway, the other one, I cannot see it. It's right there. It's hard for me to see the wires, but let me check. See if I can put my hand up there. Use both my hands. So the second one is the, where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Am I zoomed in? Oh, hold on. So the second one, let me see if I zoom in. That's the orange and white and green. Let's go to the computer. Here, that's orange and white and green. That's the fuel injector number 2. So the first one to the front is number 1. Let me see if I can find cylinder layout. All you have to do is write 1. That applies to all cars and all data. Location, cylinder number 1. Engine front, cylinder number 1. Okay, so we're good to go. We're good to go. Now I'm gonna tap into that white and green and see if I have 12 volt there. On, key on and crank. So again, we put the this lead to the white and green, which is supposed to be battery voltage. We're doing DC and we're measuring with the battery negative. ECM, key on. Okay, crank. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to do one more time.
Okay,
Oh, key on now.
Yes.
Start. Stop. Key on.
Yes.
Key off.
Stop.
Key on.
On.
Try to start it. Stop. The voltage going down to 9. Is it the battery is getting weak? I think the battery is getting weak. But anyway, we have battery voltage. Let me try this at the battery. I'm gonna try it at the battery to see if we have the same thing happening here. If it is, that means we're on track. If not, then we need to check why voltage dropping at the injector. Let me see. Go ahead, crank it. No, I'm at the battery. Yeah. Alright, stop.